Hello there, welcome back to We Are Crafted in His Image. I'm here today with a little Throwback Thursday for you. My throwback is going to be the technique. This is a technique I have not done in, I don't even remember the last time I did it. It's been years. It's called the Joseph's Coat technique, and you can see we're going to get these beautiful, bright, vibrant flowers on a very dark background. And we're actually going to start with a white piece of paper. So let's get started with this. First thing we need to do is get some color onto this paper, and I'm going to pull in a scrap piece here because we're going to make a mess. We are. I am going to be using Sweet Sorbet, Soft Succulent, and then a little bit later we're going to use Night of Navy. So I'm going to start out by figuring out where I want. Now usually when you do this Joseph's Coat, you just put random colors all over. However, I wanted to do it so that my flowers actually became a specific color. So I'm going to kind of get an idea of about the size of my flower on my paper. So about there, get some color on here. And do that again so I can remember. So I know I want to put some of the Sweet Sorbet right here in this area. It's kind of like maybe a little bigger. And I do want it a little bit intense right in the middle, so I'm going to go ahead and just tap down and get a little bit more color in that area. There we go. And then I want another one of these up in this area. Oh, such a pretty color. Let's get a little bit darker in the middle area. Now on this card here, I used pale papaya for these yellow flowers here, but I think I'm gonna, and actually, I'm gonna stick with the Sweet Sorbet, and we're gonna see what it looks like with all just Sweet Sorbet flowers. So let me put, let's see, I think I want that one's gonna go there. Thought I'd try a little different on this one. And then I know we want a little bit of color down in this corner. And now we're just going to fill the rest of it in with our Soft Succulent. Actually, while I have this open, I am going to go ahead and stamp a flower that we're going to put on the inside of the card. There we go. Oh, so pretty. By the way, this is our new Irresistible Blooms stamp set, and it is an online exclusive. You cannot find it in any of our printed catalogs. You have to go to the store, the online store, to see those. And there are a load of other new items on the online exclusive. It's something new that Stampin' Up! Has just started. Okay, so put that aside. And let's get some Soft Succulent on our card. And really for this one here, I'm going to fill this Soft Succulent in. Ooh! On all, I just inked my fingers up. All of the rest of the space is going to be this green, the Soft Succulent color. And I could have gone with a deeper green, but I have some really pretty Soft Succulent ribbon we're going to put on, so I wanted it to coordinate. So I'll use coordinating green. I don't know exactly where my leaves are going to go, so I'm just going to green everything. All the rest of this in here is going to be green. And if it overlaps the pink a little, that's okay. Or actually, it's red and pink. It's red where it's dark, pink where it's not. There we go. Okay, now before you do the next step, you're going to want to make sure that this is totally dry. If it is not, when you try to do the embossing is going to stick wherever the ink is still wet, and you don't want that. So you want to make sure it's really, really dry, and you can either just let it sit, or you could use your heat tool and go over it and let it dry it up that way. I have actually started the next step on another piece of paper, so I'm going to put this one aside and pull out my other piece of paper. I have one here, and if I tilt it and turn it, hopefully you can see in the light, I have already embossed some of the flowers and the leaves in those areas. Can you see that shining? I haven't done this corner yet, so I'm going to go ahead and do that just to show you, for those of you who might be new to heat embossing, I thought I really haven't done this on camera before, but I'm gonna go ahead and try this out today. So first thing you do want to do, excuse me, as I said, if your paper is wet at all, the embossing powder is going to stick where you don't want it to stick. So what I like to do, especially with a project like this, is I like to just kind of get some of that embossing powder on my paper and go across and make sure, like see right here, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but right here I see that there's some powder sticking to it where I don't want it to stick. And so this is a good way for me to tell, okay, I need to go ahead and take my embossing buddy. And this is just a little bag with almost like talcum powder in it. And you rub it over and it gets rid of static, it gets rid of any moisture, and it helps it so that when you put your embossing powder on, it sticks where you want it to stick and not where you don't. Yay! And see, that time everything came off. So now I'm going to go ahead and get out my Versamark pad. This Versamark pad is so old, so please don't laugh at how dirty it is. I'm going to go ahead and ink up my flower with it. And Versamark, for if you don't know, is just a sticky clear ink. Alright, so you can't even see it on there. And I'm going to stamp this one in this direction. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp a leaf. The only problem with doing them both at the same time is you really got to see where your sticky is. And I kind of have an idea, I can see it there. I'm going to stamp one leaf right here. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and grab some of my embossing powder here. Looks like I need to get some more embossing powder. There we go. Now I'm going to tilt this so hopefully you can see the powder. I should probably move this, put it in. Can you see that? There you go, now you can see it across there. And I think I want to put a leaf right here and another leaf on there. So now that I can see it, because I've got the powder, I've got my embossing powder on there, I'm going to use the little double leaves and put one here. And then I'll probably put one going off of the paper in this corner. Definitely need to get myself some more clear embossing powder. And there we go. So now though, this is just powder. We need to melt this powder. So I'm going to close this up, move these out of the way, and bring in my heat tool. Now, when I like to emboss, I generally try to emboss. I need to put this on autofocus or manual so it doesn't keep going in and out on you. I like to go underneath and heat so that the air from the heat gun doesn't blow any of the excess powder away. But on camera, that's going to be hard for me to do because I don't have enough space between here and the camera. So I'm going to go ahead and do it this way. It will be a little loud. You might want to turn your volume down. But this is, to me, this is like magic. I love watching it. I'm going to do my best. Actually, I'm going to put it back in autofocus because I want to bring it up so hopefully you can see it. And then it's just so fun to watch when it melts. It takes a few seconds to get it going, but once it's warmed up, especially once the paper has warmed, it goes very quickly. So I don't know if you can see it on the camera. I can't watch the camera while I'm watching the paper. But that leaf has completely melted there, and now I'm going on to the flower. There you go. And you do want to make sure your fingers are not in the way. This is very hot. I really hope you can see it on the camera because it is so fun to watch it melt. It's like magic. There we go. Okay, so I have all of my flowers on there. We get to do magic twice on this card because now comes the super fun part too. Let me put this away. And by the way, for those of you who have been with Stampin' Up! For a long time, you'll recognize my container. This is one of our old stamp sets. I simply, or stamp boxes that our stamp sets came in, and I just cut the hinge, and then this right here is a command hook that I use to hold my spoon, and then I just keep it like that. Makes it really nice, makes it work really well. So now comes the second magic for this card. We're gonna take our Night of Navy and lots of color, and I actually just re-inked my pad, so I probably should be gentle here. But you want to totally cover your whole card with your night. Now you could use Night of Navy, you could use Evening Evergreen, you could use the black, or even basic gray would work. Any of the deep dark colors. Ooh, Blackberry Bliss. Blackberry Bliss would be perfect for this. So any of the deep dark colors that are going to hide the background color, and also going to that won't be affected by the background color. Like, you wouldn't want to put a yellow on top of this, obviously, because that would just not, it wouldn't even cover anything. It would just change the colors. Okay, and now when you get to this point, you really want a tissue or something to hold onto the paper, otherwise your fingers are really going to be colored. This front of this card is going to take a very long time to fully dry. So be aware of that when you're working. You will end up with the color on your fingers. You wanna give it a good day or so to dry. I'm gonna come in and check and see if there's some areas like this spot right here. And if you've been with Stampin' Up! For a very, very long time, you may still have, hold on, let me get this here, this little tool in your arsenal. Put it back on manual focus. If so, this is great. If you ink it up and you run it across, and you will get a much even deeper blue on your paper if you happen to have this still. But it works just as well with our blending brushes. Okay, and then once you've got color all over, you're going to take another tissue or paper towel or something. Tissues just happen to be close to hand. I have a box here. You're going to take and you're going to rub over the surface, and any of the ink that might still be on your embossing is going to come off, see? And that'll make it even more vibrant. And there we have. Isn't that cool? We started with that white piece of paper and ended up with this beautiful background piece to use on our card. So let's go ahead and finish assembling the card. I have some of the Sweet Sorbet. I'll get this out of the way. And when I handle this paper, I'm going to try to keep handling it gently so that I don't get the ink everywhere. I'm going to take our Sweet Sorbet. I do have it on my hands, but not too bad. Oh, and somebody in one of my comments posted that, oh, I can't think of the name of it now. Hand gel, hand sanitizer will help get ink off your hands. So I need to go buy a bottle, an extra bottle, to keep right here at my desk. And there we go. Grab my bone folder. Nice and straight and ready for our piece. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this piece to the inside. Okay. And since I haven't done the front yet, it doesn't matter which side I use, does it? Okay, that's going to be my front. Before I do that, I want to go ahead and put my ribbon on. I have a little bit of stuff on there. There we go. I'm going to use this pretty soft succulent ribbon. And I'm just going to cut it a little wider than my card front. Easy peasy. Flip my card front over. Put some adhesive about where I'm going to have it. We're going to put more adhesive on top of it in a minute. Go ahead and stick that on there. Wrap it around. And stick it back down. And then I'm going to run adhesive right over top of that, all the way down. Now, because we heat embossed, because we got this paper pretty wet, kind of damp with all of that ink, it's going to warp a little bit. So this is one that I really recommend you do your adhesive on all 4 edges, rather than just on each side, and maybe even a little bit in the middle area there as well. All right, turn this over. Put this on. And then I don't want to run my hand across that right now, so I'm actually going to flip this over and use it on the back side. That way I don't end up with blue palm of my hand. Ta-da! And now I have already stamped the I Couldn't Be Happier to Have You as My Friend. And then I cut it out with the Tasteful Labels dies. I used that one right there. We're just going to put some dimensionals on the back. Oh, there they are. Whoop. Oh, and I stamped it twice because this one was crooked. So, we're going to use this side. Ta-da! 2, 3, and 4. And you do want to make sure some of the sticky from this goes on either side of that ribbon, otherwise it's just going to bounce back and forth if all of it is across the middle and just on the ribbon. Where's my cup? There it is. I used to do all of my crafting in this space right here in front of me. However, I recently put some height adjustable legs on the table that is over this direction. And so now I do most of my crafting on that table because I can raise it so that it doesn't hurt my neck as bad as it used to. However, I don't have a way of filming my projects over there yet. So I kind of am trying to find a way to keep all of my tools within reach of both sections here. And there we go. There is our finished card. What do you think? I think it's pretty kind of cool. It was fun to do it again. I haven't done that, like I said, I haven't done this technique. And here we have with both of the colors. So here, this one's all of just the sweet sorbet. This one is sweet sorbet and pale papaya for these 2 flowers here. Which one do you like better? I actually think I'm leaning towards that one there. So anyway, I will have all of the dimensions and links to all the products in the description below. There will be a blog post over on my blog that will have all the dimensions for this and links to all of the products that I used. So I hope you enjoyed this project and a little walk back in time to this fun technique. And until next time, God's love and blessings to you. Bye!